Hello YouTube and welcome back to Allie's Wonderland Creations. I am Alice Seraphin and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Welcome to my channel. So the month is September. I am focusing on the Circle Sayings bundle, which is this beautiful stamp set and the 2 3/8 of an inch circle punch. And so this is one of my Monday videos. This is Monday. This is going to air Monday, September 4th. This is Sketch a Card, as each Monday in a month I do something different. And I am also adding in the Petal Park bundle. I'm looking for the punch right now, real quick. Where is the punch, for goodness sakes? All right. Oh, it's right next to me. My goodness. So this is Petal Park Wonder. We're going to add this to our stamp set. So what are we using? Let me bring this set back in. So we are using, I told you I hadn't used these little arch ones. So we're going to use Sending You a Warm Hello. That is what we're going to use out of this set. And let's go into it. I do have a sample ready for you guys. Now I am using some retired products, but you could do this simply with I could give you an idea. The Countryside In Suites would work for this layout. Anything with, I think, a small print would be beautiful. This sketch is, where's my notes? Beautiful little card, huh? I love this. I really do. So this sketch is from cartcomania.com. I'm not sure which sketch number it is, but I drew out this little sketch. So here is the card base. We have a piece here, a little banner in there, and 4 pieces of DSP. And this had 3 flowers, though I'm turning them, rotating them a little differently. Like I said, when I went on the site, I couldn't figure out if it was a number one, whatever number it was. So this is all I have to tell you. And I entered in a search on Pinterest for card sketches using circles, and that's how I found this. So let's go over what you are going to need for our card. So I am using Pale Papaya because we are using home. What is this? Jeez, I just had that out. Yes, this is retired DSP, but this is what I have available right now. Heart in Home. So this was the DSP. I have some left, so I don't mind using it. And Pale Papaya is retired. Like I said, you could use something very similar to this. Use what you have in your stash. So we have a card base that is Pale Papaya. We also have a piece for the inside that is white, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. That's for the inside of our card. What else do we have? We have layer number 1. This is a piece of printer paper. This is what we're going to glue all of our DSP paper to, and then glue it onto here. This just helps get it all where it needs to be. Little tip for you guys. Some of you may not think this is important, but for me, this really helped lay out all these pieces of DSP. So layer number 1 is white printer paper, 4 by 5 1/4. DSP number 1 is 2 3/8 by 4. Now, if you're not into the 8s thing, the reason why this is 2 3/8 because that's the size scrap I had. Okay, this was just that size, but you could cut this to 2 1/2 and it would still do the job. Then next, you need to cut 4 pieces of DSP that are 1 by 2 3/4, and these are different ones, but you could just use front and back as long as they go with the DSP. You're going to be just fine. So you need 4 of those. Then you need, that's my little ribbon piece here. So let's see, what do we got? DSP number 2 is, that's not it. DSP number 2. Oh, that one's that one. Layer number 2 is 7/8 of an inch by 4. or you could do a 1x4. This just happens to be a scrap. This is in Garden Green. DSP number 3 is 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4, and I would keep that the same whether you use the 7/8 of an inch or the 1/8 of an inch in the Garden Green. I'm using a piece of white for the 2 3/8 inch circle punch. I am using a piece of white for my Petal Park flowers and a piece of white scrap for our leaves. So let's get started, shall we? So let's get this all going, and we're going to use the Pick a Punch banner piece. We're going to do this piece. This is still from the same Heart and Home, and I want this one, so I'm going to stick this in here like so, turn it around so I can see it, and snip the end off there. And let's go ahead and get gluing these pieces together. So I'm gluing this strip onto its Garden Green counterpart. I think this card is lovely. Very, very, very lovely. And I'm using a bit of tulle ribbon that I made a bow with on my bow maker. I'm hoping the dogs don't start. And there they go. This is the polka dot tulle ribbon. Organdy ribbon would do the same bits. So there. So now I'm going to show you my little tip was when you're putting together pieces of DSP like this for a card, cut a mat out of your printer paper. It just makes it easier gluing all of that down, and it's real thin, so it's not going to add any bulk really to your card. So this is the top. Let me get this down here. Move it like so. Just wanting it to line up at the very, very tip. Okay. Like I said, this is 2 3/8 this way by 4. You could do 2 1/2 and it would still give you this. This we will, oops, nope, we're not going to trim it. We're going to start at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is put this here for good measure. And I am just going to add my glue to my piece. You guys have seen me do this kind of reverse than what everybody else does. We are starting off with the wood grain. Then we're adding the floral piece next to it. It's okay that that little gap is there. You're not going to see it because we have the Garden Green strip to go. Boy, that's looking a bit crooked there. Oh, I don't know what's up with that. Okay, so if we need to trim this down any, which I think just a hair on this side will do it. So let's get this guillotine. Yeah, I went over a little bit. It's easily done. It's not going to make a bit of a difference, but I do want it nicely. Let's see. There. Now it's all even on all the sides. We can take this piece and glue it to our card base now. You don't got to worry about gluing all those little strips to the actual card base and getting them not lined up because you already have them on a piece of paper. I need to get a little wiggle room here for good measure. There it is. Now this piece is going to go just like that. You can see how we're working this out. So I'm going to put a strip here and a strip there and glue my little centerpiece in place. This is a great use of bits and pieces. of cardstock. Now I'm going to show you how I laid out my circle. So this is the sending you a, and this is a warm hello. So how I figured out where I wanted thing is, you guys see me, I have this little bin of little punches and stuff. So I know that I want this here. Turn it this way, and I wanted to see where my warm hello would go. And I did use the retired sprig punch and the bows punch, and I already have those punched, and I want to show you how I kind of designed this. So I did this, I laid this together, and then I took my leaves and I kind of laid them like this, just kind of seeing where I needed to place the hello. And that's how I started to design this. And then I was like, okay, I like what I see, so I'm going to remove these. Now the warm hello is going to go second. This one, sending you, I'm going to stamp first. And I have a bit of scrap paper, a large bit, and I want to put it on a stamp and Pierce mat. Let's move this out of the way so you guys can see. You can see here was my original one. I'm using Garden Green ink because I think that makes it stand out. Alright, so I'm going to ink up our arc that says sending you. Let's make sure it's nice and inked up. I'm going to do a test. Ooh, so pretty. Okay, and then I'm going to set this right here. Now I'm going to punch this out first before I stamp warm hello. That came out beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We're going to use that Garden Green ink again. Oh, I'm wondering if that little bit that I got on my block is going to bother this. Probably not. No, it's not going to. It's going to be just fine. So I'm getting it where I want to and punch. There's my circle. Now we are going to stamp a warm hello. Let me get this in its track first of all. So here's X. It came off of the block. It's being well used. So I'm putting it up here because I want my flowers. Down below, let it sit for a second. Gorgeous. We're going to move that again. And nope, we're not done. I'm like, why am I moving that? So you see what I'm using, don't you? Now there are little speckles in the petal park. You could use those. And there are some in Perched in a Tree. I've been saying this quite a bit. Perched in a Tree, layering leaves, and there's one other one. Layering leaves, color and contour. Something just like this, which you can use. This one is from Itty Bitty Backgrounds, and I am using it. So we are going, do I go full strength? We're going full strength. So I'm just going to stamp all over my circle, making sure I cover it really well. And it just adds a little bit. It's good. Now we're going to do the same thing on our inside panel. So we're just going to stamp, 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 and stamp. We're going to move that well aside. This, by the way, is going in a clear envelope because it is so very lovely. So I'm not going to show you how we're going to put that together just yet because I'm going to bring in my scrap paper. And we're going to do our flowers, our outline flowers from the petal park. Uh-oh. No. Sorry. Can't do anything about that now. Okay. Not sure what's going on there with my dogs. And I can't stop now. I can shut the door though on them. Not sure that will help, but we'll try. I do apologize. It's the best I can do for now. Alright. so my little bits and pieces here. So before we go and punch this out, we're going to use a Q-tip. You guys are probably thinking, what, is she crazy? But I call this using the Q-tip technique because I'm coloring with a literal Q-tip. So I'm dipping my Q-tip in here, and I'm going to just pounce up and down in the center of my flower, and I'm going to come up the middle. I'm going to come up the middle of each of these flowers. And I'm going to make this a two-tone flower. It came out really pretty. You'll have to wait to see the end result if you didn't catch how pretty these flowers were on the sample. So next here, I'm going to go really dark in the center, up towards the outside. Dip a little bit more. Start off in the center always before working your way anywhere else. So center, and then a little bit there, there, center. Okay. Now you can already see I have fresh freesia on the other end, as these are coordinating colors with the DSP I'm using. So if you were using blues, like the Countryside Inn, I would use blues, maybe a little yellow, maybe a little Daffodil Delight. So here is my fresh freesia. I'm gonna load up my Q-tip, and now I'm going to stamp off first, and I am gonna come up and around. I might need it in Q-tip, we'll have to see. Now you could use blends, but this has a really soft speckled, when you get close to it, it gives it this really soft look to the flowers, and I really, really like this. Yes, I'm going to get me a new Q-tip. New Q-tip to the rescue. Probably need to re-ink my... Oh, much better. Much better. So I just stamp off kind of first because I don't want too stark of ink on here. I'm just going around. I'm not going over the petal pink. I'm going around it. So up and around, around. Very soft looking little flowers, a lot like the ones as far as the softness is concerned in our DSP. So I'm going to start down here on the edge, move up, start here at the edge, try not to get on the petal pink. It's okay if you get a little bit, but I do try to avoid it. Alright, so there's all three of our flowers. They are very, very pretty. Okay, let me see if I can hold them up so you guys can get a look at that. So now we're going to use the petal part punch here. And we're going to use it again for the leaves. We're going to use garden green for our leaves. So there's my three flowers. Set that aside. I have this little strip for my flowers. So I'm going to go full strength with this bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you do it at an angle, it works really, really well for the punch. So I'm going to stamp off next and do this more solid image of the leaf. Stamp off, stamp off, stamp off. There we go. One more time, and then we're going to punch all of these leaves out. And you know what I think we're going to do? I didn't do this on my sample, but I'm kind of liking the idea. I think we're going to do some stamping of the leaf here. So we're gonna go maybe like so. I don't want the full thing. Just do a few leaves. Yes, I do like that. And we're gonna stamp off again. Stamp off. Oh, I do like this. Too bad I already have the other piece in my card, because I would definitely be adding this to it. Alright, so we are all done with our stamping. Now we're going to put our card together. We're going to do that punching. You can see by doing them in an angle, you just pop them in there, and 1, 2, 3, uh-oh, looks like I'm gonna need a little handle as I'm running out of room to hold on to. So let's see. Uh-oh, that's gonna punch it. Not what I wanted to do. Should have done it from the other end. Right, we will make do. Maybe we'll make do. Who knows? This is not... We're going to go ahead and stick it this way. It wants to be difficult. We'll just punch the whole thing. Because we are going to get our 5th leaf out of here one way or another. There we have it. So let's get all those bits off our board, and we have our leaves. Now, you guys have seen me do this before. I hold it thumb and finger together this way, and I give my petals a little wiggle. Gonna do it again, holding them together. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. And wiggle, wiggle. And last one, we're gonna do a little wiggle. And I've already done 2 of these, and I want to show you. On this bow punch, I take it like this. I give that a little wiggle. Give this one. Give this one. Let me see if you guys can see that. Wiggle. 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 Now, I don't really wiggle that one because I have wiggled that one right the heck off. And I do mean that. Right literally off of the thing there. And that was not good. So... thumb and bone folder together, and you pull outwards and you curl it. Thumb, kind of like you do that curling ribbon at Christmas time for packages. We're going to do all of our flowers. Really curl those ends up. And the little one is a little trickier, but you can get it done. Oops, dropped it. You can also use your acrylic nails if you have them. That also works. So let's get our bits here together, and I'm going to show you how I did my flowers. So I actually took glue and put it like this around that edge, and I kind of bent this up like so, and I get one placed on there, and I bring it right to the edge. Got a little too much glue there, but there's one. Now I'm going to do this to the other side. Let's see which one. This one goes this way. I'm going to give it a little bend here, trying to get them roughly the same. Alright. This one needs to be scooted out just a hair more to the edge. But you can make it actually work for you, and I do mean that. These are going to pop up. Now this one, I only needed one of these because we're going to cut this one in half. I just want a little pop of that pale papaya. And we're going to come in like here, put some glue, put it along here, and turn it to where it curves up also. This one, they kind of already are turning up, but there you have it. You can kind of see it's starting to form. So I know that two of these need to go together. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue there and a little bit of glue there and give them a pinch. we're going to do two of these like this. So there's another one. Pinch it together. Now, before you do anything else, where's our little bow? Our little bow, let me check our card and let you see. Our little bow is actually going to go like right here. So this is not actually going on here. It's just going to go right underneath it when we get to it. So we need to figure out, we're not going to do this till the last time, but we do need to place it to look at what we're doing. So I have that. This one is going to go on this flower, and this one's going to go right about there, so I'm probably going to put that flower there. I'm going to glue these two together now that I know where I want it. So a little bit of glue. Alright, this little one isn't getting any glue, so that I'm going to glue right there where I have it. This flower is going to go up on dimensionals. See, you ain't going to see that little marking. And this one, I think I want this one like right there, and I do. So I'm going to hold it in place, sneak a little glue up underneath there, and pop that down. So everything's where I want it. Now we can put this up on dimensionals and put it on our card. And you know me, I'm going to use 3. So one down there, one here, and one there. You don't want this too close to the edge, this one, because you want a little bit of room there to tuck our little bow up into it. So here we go. Make sure that's straight as far as the sending you. Ooh, really, really cute. Minis, minis, and mini minis. So here we go. One little mini for this one. Making sure I go up. I am gonna put this one right there. I still want to make sure you see the A, so I kind of like the look of that one. This one is going to go on this side. Right tucked up in there. Oh, so darling. Now we need to grab a glue dot. Paper pumpkin glue dots. And our bow now is going to go right. I'm going to do this one a little bit at an angle because this is how it tends to be. So I'm going to add my little glue dot right there. I'm going to grab my bow. Don't want it holding this down, but I do want it just tucked up, kind of. Let me lift this up. There. Really, really darling. Darling, darling, darling. Now we are going to grab like 2 of these little edge pieces and pop that right there in the center. And then we have the perfect spot for our flower. Isn't this beautiful, guys? I am so excited to share this with you. I absolutely love this. Now, you could add your rhinestones and all that stuff, but I think this is so pretty. It doesn't need anything but Wink of Stella. And I'm going to Wink of Stella my flowers. I'm going to do these green leaves. So darling. And do I want to do anything else? I don't. I think this is gorgeous just on its own. Now, for this particular card, this is it. You could do clear, not clear, but writing labels here that are stickers on a clear envelope. You could also make, I don't think I have a sample one. You could use, we could use this to show you. This could be your mailing address label. Let me show you. You'd put it in the envelope, like so, and then put your card in the envelope. This card is so beautiful, it needs to go in a clear envelope. It needs to be seen and shared. I'm being prejudiced, but I really love this card. It's gorgeous. So you could mail this like so by putting your address in there, and then you have an address label. Or option number 3 is you simply write on the back of the card, which that is what I am going to opt for this particular card. So I'm going to glue this down to the inside of our card. Yep. And I love the addition of the leaves on here. That is really pretty. Really pretty. So, I hope you guys like this card as much as I do. Clear envelope. See, this is without the greenery. This is with the greenery. The greenery has it for me. But this is my sketch card for the first Monday of the month, September 4th. And I really hope you guys like it. I hope you like it enough to leave me a comment. I really want to know, get some feedback on this card. And maybe you guys can let me know if you still have some of this DSP. Or maybe you have an idea of some DSP that this card would work with, because I'd love that feedback. More than anything, I want to invite you back to my Wonderland, and I want to tell you thank you. Thank you so very much for supporting me in this endeavor and giving me so much to look forward to when I create my projects. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now, everybody.